Hello and welcome to the Penalty Box Perspective podcast. My name's Nathaniel and I'm joined once again by my good friend Matt. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, back on the remote podcast recording. I really enjoyed sitting across from you yesterday. That was a really good time. I had a blast. We'll have to do that more often. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we
back
will.
to it today. Got some. I was going to say some semis to cover, but some semi-final games to coat off from the Olympics. So yeah, setting things up for the medal games. Brilliant. So for those listening, Nathaniel's just figured out how the soundboard works in our in our podcast recording platform. So things are gonna. Are you fucking done?
I will stop now.
You fucking menace. So yeah, you can expect things to get goofy as shit around here from now on, by the sounds of it. Um, right, Nathaniel, 2 games to cover, one a bit closer than the other. Where do we want to start? Do we want to start on the close one or the blowout?
We'll start with the first game, I think, because that's just how we'll be doing things, and it turns out that was the better game, really. But yeah, it was Canada-Finland.
Yeah, it was close game. Canada finished with a 3-2 victory. Coming back from 2 goals down, they rally as they always do. Nathan McKinnon getting the power play goal to send Canada through to the gold medal game. Connor McDavid with his 11th assist of the tournament through that, which was again just ridiculous. Those Canadian goals also coming from Sam Reinhart and Shea Theodore. So close game. I think probably the result we expected, but again, similarly to how they did in the quarterfinals, the Canadians limping through this one a bit.
They certainly were. They obviously went 2-0 down, and I think they had just sort of twice the double amount of shots by that point, but they didn't really look like scoring. Like, they didn't sort of take control of this game.
Mm. Yeah, it just kind of seems like I don't know if maybe the preliminary stages they've almost became a little bit lackadaisical, but the last 2 games they've kind of like unintentionally just like made it hard for themselves. Um, oh, fuck's sake. You're gonna definitely just wang something in there from the soundboard afterwards, aren't you? God's sake. Um, yeah, they overcomplicated it, I think. Maybe trying to go for like the Gucci Hollywood plays all the time to try and get some really nice goals um and then kind of letting their focus slip and ending up conceding goals. But I think it just really goes to show, I think, the overall quality of this Canadian team that they can be 2-0 down in a crucial game and then all of a sudden kind of go, yeah, should we actually kind of chuck the effort in now, boys, and kind of try and figure this shit out? And then they just go on a tear and get all the goals they need to send them through, to the gold medal game. So yeah, brilliant from Canada, and they are setting themselves up, I think, for the biggest game in potentially Team Canada's, maybe Team Canada's history, but certainly their biggest game of the millennium, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even when they went 2-0 down and they weren't getting any luck, it seemed. I also didn't have, like, I wasn't panicked thinking that they were going to be in doubt. Like, I always thought they were going to come back and win. And it was sort of inevitable, really, even
Mm.
when Crosby wasn't playing.
Yeah, yeah, and again, the depth of this team is why they are where they are. It, it it absolutely baffles me, just how much depth they have throughout the entire roster, offensively, defensively. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So even taking such a massive player like Sidney Crosby out of that lineup, it's an easy fix. And did they bring Seth Jarvis in? I think maybe. I can't remember exactly who it was who
Sam
came in.
Bennett, I think they brought back in.
Right, yeah,
Was it?
that would, yeah, of course, that would make sense with a centre, but um, yeah, we can bring the Conn Smythe winner from last season, kind of off the scratch list in order to replace Sidney Crosby. So certainly a good position for them to be in. So
That
yeah,
reminds me, actually, when I was watching that game, it was still not over, and the fans on X and Reddit and stuff are losing their mind to Sam Bennett because he doesn't have that much skill in air quotes, and he just sort of charged the goal crease and just ran over UC Saros, gave away an interference penalty, and they score pretty much like 3 seconds after on the face off.
Christ.
And
I,
everyone's going off like, we lost Crosby for this man. This man has no skill. Get him off the tip. And that was sort of the run from it all. I was just like, oh, I don't know if you can sort of go that far. He's a quality player, but it's just
yeah,
comedic values up there.
yeah. He's one of those players, isn't he? Who has made. I mean, he's got 2 Stanley Cup rings, so who's laughing really. Um, he's a guy who has. He's a bit like Liam Neeson in Taken. He's got a very particular set of skills, and those skills make it a nightmare for people like NHL defensemen. Um, he's made a career out of parking his arse in front of the net, being a pest, being a nuisance, getting in people's faces. Okay, he might not have the stick handling, he might not necessarily have the speed, but you look at people like Brad Marchand, Corey Perry, guys who've made careers for themselves for being a pest and being an irritant for the other team, and I think that's maybe a little harsh to say he's got no skill, but that encapsulates sports fan social media to an absolute T.
Yeah. He, like Liam Neeson, he'll find you. He'll find you annoyed button and press it.
Yeah, he might even kill someone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Well,
He's got a pretty like demonic presence. So yeah, I think he's more than capable. Um, but yeah, so that sets them up in the gold medal game that's going to be played on Sunday, and it sets them up well in I think the game that we all wanted to see.
yeah. It was, and when we were like looking at that Canada was losing, I thought, oh God, if they lose this game, the America, like USA, are going to have to lose. They just have to. And then we got a Finland Slovakia final. That would have been one of the weirder things we've ever seen
For the
in our
gold medal
time
would have
span.
been absolutely ridiculous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but Canada win, and then we went into the second game of the day, USA against Slovakia, and thankfully, in terms of the fans who just wanted to see the best matchup possible, you got exactly what you wanted. The USA coming out with a 6-2 win.
Yeah, and look, I feel I feel a bit for Slovakia in this because they took a bit of a shelling early on. They went 4-0 down, I believe. They pulled your boy, Havai, and
Well,
I
yeah,
think they're saving him. I think for the bronze medal game. It just
yeah,
wasn't their night, and every little thing has gone kind of according to plan, really, for the Slovakians this tournament. And unfortunately, kind of when it's come to a really clutch moment for them, it's just not happened. So I'm a bit gutted for them, but I suppose the neutral fan in me wanted to see the US play Canada. I think even if Slovakia had pulled off the massive upset and beaten the US, I just think their luck would have run out regardless. And I think we're going to get a gold medal game that's going to be absolute box office entertainment. I also think, to be fair, that bronze medal game is going to be an interesting one because did Slovakia beat Finland the first time round in the group stage? Was it their it was
no, I
their
think
first.
Slovakia beats Sweden, didn't they?
Hmm.
I think. Oh no, no, so you're right. Slovakia beat
Yeah,
Finland 4-1.
because Slovakia beat Finland and because it made the preliminary stages for Finland a little bit kind of difficult off the bat. So the Finns are going to be pissed. They're going to want a bit of revenge. The Slovakians are going to want to come away with a medal. I mean, that would be a huge result and a statement for them, to come away with an Olympic medal from from these games. So yeah, I think we're going to see a really good game in that one. I think that's going to be a terrific watch.
I just hope that American game where it got late early for Slovakia. The USA outpowered them, outmaneuvered them in every way, shape, or form. It was a really, I guess, poor performance.
Yeah,
I don't want them to take that on and be really deflated and then get blown out by Finland, which I guess could happen.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they were. You're absolutely right. They were second best in every aspect against the US. It was just it ended up being a talent gap, and unfortunately, they just couldn't compete. And yeah, I just hope it hasn't sort of burst their bubble that hard to the point where it just completely derails them for this game, because they're going to have to shake it off, get their heads back in the room, and figure out how they're gonna beat Finland. I mean, they've already done it. They've already done it this tournament, so they know that they're capable. They know they have the skill and the talent to do it. They just need to bring the right mentality on the night, and yeah, come away with something really really special.
Yeah. And, I don't know if there's any more you want to sort of talk about that USA Slovakia game. Otherwise, we'll just move on to sort of talk about the Canadian USA game, what we might expect out of that.
Yeah, nothing really from that one. I mean, I was just a little bit, just coming back to my Blackhawks head. I've felt a really strong like affinity to the Slovakian team. When I first started getting into hockey, one of my favorite players on the Blackhawks at the time was Marian Hossa, and he was just an absolute don. Should have played way longer than he did, but unfortunately had like a genetic skin condition. It was absolutely horrific. But yeah, so I've felt kind of really passionate about the Slovakians this tournament. So no, just want them to do well. Was gutted for them on the night, but just hope they get the bronze.
The only thing I'd maybe mention is we almost got our second fight of the tournament. Right at the end, Matthew Kachuk just being a nuisance. He got himself tied up with Cernak, and there was no actual fighting. They were just sort of annoying each other.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think
there's a
it
few,
falls into the roughing category, doesn't it?
yeah, a few bit chirping, and then I think Matt Kachuk sort of gently threw a hand. It wasn't a punch, but just sort of getting his hand in the other guy's face, and then took one in the face back. And Brady didn't like that, and then Brady getting involved. They all get kicked out of the game. Slovakia went on a power play to end the match, and instead of showing the last 2 minutes of the game, they proceeded to show the brothers holding each other walking down the tunnel, like really poetically.
Yeah, and look, we know that the Kachucks have been one of the key, one of the key draws for social media and for the press in this game in this tournament. Obviously, they've both got love them or hate them. They've both got personality. They've both got grit. They've both got, they're both entertaining guys to cover. So I think any opportunity to get them on screen, I think they're always going to take. So, um, yeah, yeah, it was interesting coverage, I think, to say the least.
I cannot wait to watch that USA Canadian game.
No, likewise. It's gonna be like the Four Nations final, but like ramped up even more. And it's
It's
like I
kind
was
of like warm.
saying, yeah, I just think people are there's gonna be a bit of a risk here, isn't there? And I think the referees are gonna have to take a really really strong stance on this game, and they're gonna have to decide out the gate what they are and what they aren't going to stand for in terms of hits, roughing, all the afters that come after the whistle, and whatever decision they decide on, they've got to stick with it and they've got to be consistent. If they're going to decide that they're going to let things go a little bit, and they're going to let that roughing happen, they're going to acknowledge it's going to be a part of the game, so they're going to kind of let it slide. then you need to let it slide for the whole game. You know, you can't go pulling up certain people and letting other ones kind of get away with it. Equally, if they decide that they're going to run a really tight ship and, anything after the whistle, they're going to call it, then again, they need to remain consistent throughout. But these guys are going to go out there, they're going to want to absolutely kill each other. So I'm probably leaning more towards let things let things play out, but if it becomes, a hazard or dangerous, then obviously they need to step in.
Yeah, they need to set that mentality early because it is going to be a combative game. For me, obviously want them to be able to show the skill that they have, and by letting it go a little bit, it might end up being more of a dogfight, and we don't end up seeing as great sort of necessarily hockey plays. But likewise, I don't want it to be some sort of tame affair where they can't show their emotions, they can't really dig deep into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, and that is exactly kind of what I was thinking before, is that you know it's going to be an incredibly emotional affair, and what you don't want is players second guessing themselves, pulling out of big hits, or having to alter the way that they would play because they're concerned about what the referee's reaction is going to be. Um, they need to let them be as authentic as possible, and just I know they said there was going to be sort of retrospective bans for for fights and things like that. Obviously, I think that would probably extend into like the 2030 games. Obviously, if people return and go back,
That's
which obviously would
nonsense to
just be
me.
it
It
would just
should
be a
be like
preliminary game, wouldn't it? So
if
you know,
it's like football where you have qualifiers and stuff like that, and you play a lot more often and things like that internationally, then fair play. But punishing a player for in the next Olympics, it's so far away. So like people aren't going to remember how they got the penalty.
yeah, you wouldn't rule it out though, would you? You wouldn't rule it's ridiculous, but it's the exact kind of thing you could see them doing. Um, but like I was saying yesterday, there's going to be certainly some of those older guys. I'm thinking the likes of Brad Marchand and um, maybe Brock Nelson on the US team, who this might well be their last Olympics. Um, and maybe they're just going to want to go out with it. You could certainly see someone like Brad Marchand. It's probably going to be his last Olympic game ever. He's going to want to go out with some fireworks. He's going to be the pestiest pest that there's ever been. He's going to get under everyone's skin, and it's going to be, like the Brad Marchand of old, who was out there just like licking players and was just constantly overstepping the line. Um, yeah,
You've
he's
been
going to
getting those
be
like that through being nice.
yeah, yeah. He's going to be doing everything. I mean, unfortunately, he's going to have to go back and share a locker room with Matthew Kachuk like next week. So,
Oh,
um,
they know each other's game.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Maybe he just goes after Brady instead. But yeah, I think there's going to be some absolute fireworks. And I just hope that if we do end up in two guys going and dropping the gloves, that the refs don't just kind of basically cock block the viewing audience, for lack of a better term. Um, like there's been so many times where there's been guys like squaring up wanting to go, and it's like the equivalent for the home viewers watching at home of just like being sat in the cook chair whilst
Yeah.
whilst the referees just kind of deny us what we all kind of want to see.
Look, I can't wait for this game. I just hope it lives up to the hype. It's been a long road, I guess, this tournament to get to this one game, which I think we all kind of knew was going to happen,
Yeah,
or kind of hoped was going to happen. Um, and I just hope it sort of delivers. I wish it was a NHL playoff style best of seven,
yeah.
um,
Just let it keep going.
and it keep going. And also, the other side thing is, I've seen some criticisms online of uh, playoff. Well, I know in the NHL it's different as well, but it's like regular season rules in the knockout rounds of Olympic tournament where they go 3-on-3. is that the right way? Is that proper hockey? Is that how you want to settle a gold medal in these games if they go to 3-on-3 after in overtime, etc.?
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in the Olympic ruling, the medal games, if they're level after all three periods, I think they go to 5-on-5 overtime. Could
It
be
wasn't in
wrong.
the women's.
Right. Oh no, of
Might be
course it
different
wasn't.
rules.
Of course it wasn't. But yeah, could be wrong. But I'm sure I'd read that somewhere. But we'll just have to see if it's
Make
all
it up as
square
you
after
will.
three periods. See how many guys come back out on the ice, and Canada will be making sure that the refs count everyone to make sure there isn't anyone missed out.
Oh, there's new memes now incorporating the Canadian finger into
Yep.
literally every element, and I'm just for it. It's so funny. He's celebrating the offside. Oh, we can tell by this finger he's actually
Yeah, you could tell.
offside.
Just give it a little push. Oh Christ. Right, dude.
Oh,
Let's shall we we'll wrap it up here anyway. And well, get ready to go watch some bronze medal hockey.
yeah. Do you
Awesome
wanna
stuff.
see us out?
Yeah, of course. Well, as always, guys, you can find us on both X and Instagram at the PBP Podcast. You can also find us on fuck. You can also find us on You can also get in contact with us via email, for fuck's sake, at penaltyboxperspective@gmail.com. If you want to go give us a 5-star review, please do. Even if you want to say that one of the co-hosts can not like talk for shit, can't get his words out, can't even pronounce an email address, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure it's 5 stars. Equally, if you want to listen to the podcast in audio format, you can do so on the Penalty Box Perspectives YouTube channel. You can also go and like and subscribe there as well. As always, guys, thanks for being with us. Really appreciate all the support we've had over this Olympic period. And thanks for being with us. We'll see you on the next one.
I'm really sorry I did that to you.
No, you're not.